Hello Gorgeous! Thank you to being here on my channel. My name is Nina Vinti and I'm from Brazil and I'm also the middle side. So I just decided to do this new community, this new channel, because in the end I would like to try to find a middle way for everything that we just see on the world because of this algorithmus situation that's going on. Because all the people it's in the left side, all the people are it's on the right side, and I'm really tired and pissed off about that. Okay, so that's why my first goal in this channel, I like to talk about relationships. Mostly I'm going to react about relationships, but right now I'd like to point it out that every week I'm going to have a different trend view that it's going on in the internet, and I would like to share my opinion with you in the middle side, of course. Okay, so right now I found a video, let me see here, about it's the Piers Uncensored channel. It was very famous, 3.5 million views. We are talking about an interview, not an interview, like a debate with Piers Davis, and also the political journalist Ava Santina. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, okay? So I was checking a little bit about the Piers Davis. I was checking here, for example, her Instagram. She's starting to be very famous. She still have a small number of followers. Guys, it's in Portuguese, happen. And I was checking some stuff here that of course she published here about the unsincerity, but I was checking her point of view. Some of them make sense, so some of them, come on, it's too much. She will have a channel with 1.6 million subscribers, which is yeah, we can kind of understand that it's a bit it's an intermediate channel. I'm not going to find share some things that, because this is not the point. The point is having this interview here, and let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, so let's start it.
This opinion. If anything, this is probably my most extreme opinion. 90% of women have been on birth control. One out of three women has an STD. Average body count is over 5, so your average wife has slept with over 5 people. 95% of women are not virgins on their wedding days. So I understand the complaint.
Okay, what do you think, guys? Because some things that she pointed out, it's complicated to debate. Okay, since that we are in the 21st century, and I don't know, I think some stuff that she said, you are going to see, it's not the first time that I'm doing this reaction, but in some point of view I understand what she's talking. But let's see, it's just the middle, okay guys? So I'm not here to defend her or defend the feminist journalist Ava Santina, but let's check what's going on here.
Okay, well, Paul doesn't know, political journalist Ava Santina. He was nodding furiously along there to everything she heard. Right, Paul, you've been called the female Andrew Tate. How do you believe?
Well, I take it as a compliment. You know, I'm a fan of Andrew Tate.
Of everything he says?
It depends what we're talking about. But overall, I think he's got a good message. I think he's good for young men.
Okay, look, you're talking about women predominantly, which is why you've got this big following. And your view is that modern feminism is deeply flawed. I would argue a lot of your proposals, like taking the vote away from women, are deeply regressive. Why would you want to remove just from yourself the right to vote?
What?
Okay, before I let her talking about the vote, I just would like to point it out that most of the societies, like talking about Western world, okay, most of the women, they do have the right of the vote at least 60, 70 years already. And one thing that I have noticed is maybe I'm from Brazil, and vote in Brazil is mandatory. At least you are not in the city that you are supposed to vote. It's mandatory to you to vote on there. Otherwise, they give you some penalties, and you, for example, I can't make a new passport if I don't vote, or I can't do some public exams if I don't vote. So of course that I'm going to be punished if I do not vote, okay? So what is the fact? I noticed, I'm living in Europe, okay? I'm also Italian, and I noticed that here in the let's talk about Western world, okay? I have noticed that Europe, United States, Canada, since people can have the option to vote, okay, I have noticed that quite half of the people don't go to vote, okay, because they are not interested about politics. And the same thing happened to women. Of course, in this, we are talking about a journalist, Eva Santina. She's a political journalist. So I truly believe that she's going to think that everything that the Piers Davis is talking about, it's completely bullshit, okay? But what is the point of view here? I noticed that most of people don't care about politics, and also the women, we don't care about politics. For example, in Brazil, we do have a restriction that because the party, they need to have a percentage of women inside the party. Otherwise, they are going to suffer some sanctions. But the thing is, it's complicated even for Brazil, not because we don't have women to be part of that, because we do, but most of the women, they are not interested about the political, to be on the political area. And it's normal because most of women, they don't, they disagree, okay, about being part of the vote system. For example, I taking like me, I went to vote. I had the chance, of course, to vote like 5 or 6 times already with my age. And I don't see me going just to vote and try to find a political that can suit what I am understanding better. So in the end, I don't get interesting. For example, being like a Brazilian, I would not take off my Sunday day just to go close to my home and and go there and vote in someone, because I don't care about it. And I believe that most of women think the same way that I do think, okay? Because most of us, we don't care. But let's continue here.
Well, what happened was I had the same view, right? Back when I started, I was like, why? I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. And I couldn't figure out, like, why would women not? That was true.
At the time.
At the time.
Because they've been conditioned by men to think that they shouldn't have a vote.
I mean, that's what they say, but, I started reading their writings, right? And what I found out was that the reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. Before you became one.
No, I don't agree that it would be the situation. I was checking, there is a historic, I do have her book here, but I can't show you right now. This is Brazilian, she's called Ana Campagnolo, okay? And, okay, let me just have the book on here, let me stop. Okay, guys, I quite crushed here my scenario, but okay, I got it. This is the book. This is called Feminism book, okay? Perversion and Subversion, okay? It's her name here. I don't know if you can see that. Ana Caroline Campagnolo, it's her name, okay? She's a historical. She's from Brazil, okay? We do not have the book in English, unfortunately. And she talked about a lot of how the rights to vote with women started in some countries. In Europe, for example, in United States, and also I realized here, also in Brazil. So, for example, she talking about the history about voting in Brazil. The first woman, she didn't want actually to vote. She went to vote like a first woman because he had a husband that told me, okay, I don't see any laws saying that you don't have the right to vote. So let me, with this thing that's not saying in our constitution, let me just try on my end to open like a case or a process and give you the right to vote. But she wasn't very interesting about that. She just went to vote because she said, okay, my husband took a little bit time of that, he's a lawyer, and let me just go there and vote because he did that for me. But it wasn't, and she have here written, she's already dead already, but she wrote the first time that she went to vote that she wasn't interesting about the vote. She just went there because her husband did everything in order to make her to vote. So it's how it started. I don't know how the situation just got started in the other countries, but I understand that it's a small quantity of women that they are interested about vote, and also with political as well. Most of women they are not interested about political stuff. So that's why I put this channel as a middle point of view about everything, because we are not trying to find who is wrong and who is right, and my straight opinions about something, but it's just seeing with a huge point of view how it's we can talk about that. So
One in marriage, 85% of people were married. And, I hate to say it, but they were right. What has happened 100 years later?
What's that got to do with them having the vote?
Well, it also goes back to responsibility. Again, men are 80 to 90% of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run. So I just think if we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the hard jobs. Be 50% of the military. In the U.S., they're fined 200.
yes, for example, I don't agree with her point of view because I believe that there are certain kind of jobs that men they do better than women, okay? And when we're talking about men going to the war, for example, it's not something that it's easier. Of course, that I do see, for example, at the Bush moment when Bush it wasn't as a president, he was trying to do the best to have people to go to the West for I don't know Afghanistan or Iraq and go to the war. Why? Because it's something that most men would not never went there because it's very complicated. Okay, so I don't believe that it's because of that.
$50,000 if they don't join selective service, which is essentially the draft.
Okay, specifically on the vote, what would having the right to vote have to do with family cohesion, for example?
Well, because again, before you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have two votes.
Ava, your mouth seems to have dropped about
I know.
Yes, of course, because she's a political journalist, as I told you before, guys. And when she hear everything that it's been saying, that she was like, "What the hell she's talking about?" So I totally understand her reaction because she does work with that.
Big galaxy brain. I feel like the stats that you're putting down are perhaps correct in some universe,
which stats?
but they just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take you back to the women's writings that you've allegedly read. I mean,
Allegedly?
Well,
Allegedly?
at the time that you're talking about, women weren't really allowed to write. They weren't allowed to go to school.
Yes, they were.
Right.
That's incorrect. The first female property owner was in the 1600s.
Yes, one thing that I don't like about the Piers Davis, it's she's completely not prepared for the debate. She's just trying to find some search aleatory, and she's not telling us where this is come from. And I just got a frame of her. It's like I just loved her face. But what is the thing here that I would like to point it out with you? She's not prepared for the debate. Eva Santina, she's completely prepared for the debate. Why? Because she's journalist. She's a political journalist. So of course that she's more prepared about those kind of debates than even when we are talking about vote rights than Piers Davis, of course. So we see a difference about how one each other they put up the point. Yes, have their point of views. I'm sorry, guys. I told you would be not simple for me doing that.
That women couldn't work and couldn't. The first female millionaire was in the late 1800s.
And was that
no, it wasn't. It was self-made. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, but she did not inherit it.
What law permitted that?
Well, there was no law. I mean, there's always been women that were influential.
Let's get on to the vote. So what I don't understand is, part of your message, of researching today, and hang on a minute, your big push is that you care about men. You don't think that men are getting enough of a say.
I don't believe that she cares about men, but I more believe that she cares about herself. So she started to be very famous on the internet because she do say some stuff that is completely weird. And I'm quite sure that some men, they just listen what she's saying. And for most men, they say, what the hell she's talking about? Because I understand some frustrations with men in general about the Western woman, but I don't know which kind of man she's representing because it's completely no sense.
Hang on, the point gets, because of feminism, okay? What I wonder is when you start making calls out, like repeal the 19th, women shouldn't be allowed to vote, how is that helping young men? Because these young men have women in their lives, they have mothers, they have
That
sisters,
is
they have
a
teachers.
very
and they
good
turn around,
point
they don't
of
have
view because which kind of men she's trying to represent when she said that women they just need to be inside the family and take care about the house and be a mother and a housewife. So it's complicated because the world had already happened so many things and the society it's so complex and we do have a lot of problems right now because of this complexibility about the society, that in the end I ask it myself, okay, which man she's trying to defend, or which kind of society would you like to think that it's a good society to just start it, or how it's the relationship in this new century, because we came for a situation that most of the things that had already happened, we can undo the things. Okay, and about regarding the vote rights, it's complicated because in the Western world, which people are not, it's not mandatory to vote, because in Brazil we are mandatory to vote. I see that almost half of the people don't go to vote, including men and women. So I would like to point it out, in your opinion, when we do have almost half of people from a country that they don't go to vote because they believe that they don't feel the having politicals that understand the world, or they are not interested about having the presidents or the Congress or the parliament in those countries. So I don't understand. I think that we're going to, it's almost a century already, and most of us, we are not interested about vote, and most women as well, they are not interested about the vote. So I don't understand her point of view right now, why she's saying that one family should have one vote when we do have half of the family in the Western world, almost half of the people, they are not interested about the vote.
To act around women, because you're giving them license to be misogynistic.
I wouldn't call it misogynistic. I say be equal. So again, men do all the stuff. Well, then, okay, I'd love for the feminists to please apply for the oil rigs. Please go do the hard jobs in society. They're open, they're hiring, because I don't equate for, I don't think men or women are.
Yes, when we talk about equally, I don't like the way that she said about the equally, because of course we do have some jobs that most of women, they are not going to apply to, because we are talking about different bodies and different kind of strength and muscles. So of course that we can talk about being equal when women and men, they are completely physical different. Okay, even it's very complicated, this situation, because of course most women, they are not going to be interested in very straight kind of jobs, or jobs that the woman would need, for example, to be in the sunshine all the day, or like she said in the, what she said here, okay, imagine building houses or painting, or in high risk jobs. So I truly don't understand her point of view here. Yeah.
Are equal until we do the equal work. So no, listen, go apply to be on the oil rigs, go be a plumber, go be an electrician, go be on the front lines of the military, and then we should have equal rights. But until feminists are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom without the
Okay,
responsibility.
well, I don't think I'm physically built for that. You might be, but
What is freedom? What is getting responsibility on here? Because she's also free. She's talking about virgin, because I have seen already that she's talking about being virgin and marry virgin and have one vote for family, but she's free to talking about everything that she's complaining about the woman. So
I'm absolutely not. No, but you said you were
Wow.
You said you were a volleyball player, so you've got more strength than I do. I don't think
But I
you
have more
do.
strength. I have more strength than an average man. I don't have more strength than an average man. But again, it goes back to go be a plumber. You want to be equal, go be equal.
You want divorce to be made illegal.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because I don't think
this is complicated. Make divorce illegal is very complicated, because we do have, I understand, for example, that almost half of the marriage in the United States, they are breaking apart, and there is a lot of reasons that is happening, right? But the thing is, don't make that illegal, because we do have some situations that it's better if the marriage, if we don't have this situation with this marriage. So in the end, I believe that this point of view is very dangerous. So it's unnecessary to talk about that. Yeah.
what we have today is really marriage. What is marriage? It's for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, till
Yeah,
death
she's
do
talking
us
about
part.
this,
That's what
this
marriage is supposed to be.
relationship.
But
As I
feminists have
told you,
ruined
it's
marriage for the
point
people.
of view.
I didn't say that it was all down to women.
Why feminists?
You asked why I want divorce to be banned. Can I finish it first? So I'm saying, the people that believe in divorce, go be in long-term relationships. Leave marriage for the people that actually believe in for better or for worse, for... What do you...
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity.
Yes, this is the kind of point in the discussion that is really frustrated, and it's gross.
I just think they're holding standards that you don't
Look at his face. I mean, they are talking about, okay, but you are saying that women, they should marry virgin, but you are not a virgin. Which kind of discussion we are doing? It's make absolute no sense. It's just to get some views, because it's completely no sense.
I wish I was, but we can't go back.
I just don't think that you get to be ego, you get to be paid for your views. You're telling other women that they shouldn't be allowed to.
Yes, because imagine it's a very frustrated situation. It's a very awkward situation, talking about being virgin or not, or in his.
Isn't the whole point of being a feminist, though, that women are entitled to have their own views?
Absolutely.
So she's perfectly entitled to her views.
Yeah, but you
might not
can't.
like
But I'm
them.
here to
So isn't she
challenge
exercising her rights as a... Are you a feminist?
No, I am not.
Really?
Really, guys?
No, we don't talk about
You don't want to be a feminist?
No, because I think if feminists really believed in equality, which you guys know, I would love for you.
She keeps saying the same thing. It's unbelievable.
The building being built next to my building, don't do it, feminists. But don't do it to me.
I'm doing the same job
Well,
I'm doing right
when you
now.
find the man you want to get married to, are you saying you will be with that man whatever happens for the rest of your life?
Yes, for
My question is she's married? Because even if she got married, I don't know, such men would like to have this kind of wife, saying a lot of this kind of things on the internet, on television.
for the vows that we're supposed to live
I
by.
know you can keep them.
I mean, look at...
This is a very point of view, because Piers Moran, he asked, okay, but how you know that it's going to happen? It's something blind. You don't marry because you do like to think, okay, in 1-2 years I'm going to separate of my husband. You do go married because you love this person. So in the end, we try to make things work, but of course, there is a lot of things that may be different point of views, or maybe different personalities, that is not going to make things going well on marriage. So it's not this black and white situation, as she's pointed out.
I think it's a choice. And that's the thing, like, women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness.
Yes, this is complicated when we do have more than a marriage. For example, if you are a mother, for example, it's very complicated if you give up from the marriage and just say, I'm not happy. It's selfish.
The most important thing is these children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
Hey, but I've got to say,
Yes, and he's going to agree with this point of view, but makes sense. Women in general, they are so selfish that in the end they tell, oh, I'm not happy, I don't want this marriage anymore. Okay, and what about the children? And what about everything that you just made with this other person, and all for the house that you bought, the cars that you bought, and also the children, and who it's going to be the children, the share families. Of course, this is very frustrating also for the children. The children feel this bad situation with the parents, so it's very complicated situation. I agree with
There's
her.
a little much things back to Tate where some of it I really don't agree with. I don't agree with the vote stuff. When I think things like that, I can be a lot of people, especially older generation women perhaps, who think, you know what, she's got a point.
Well, I mean, I believe in agency, so I think that if women still look after her children, that's absolutely fine. I also believe in your...
Yeah, see, I don't agree with her point of view because she's being selfish. This is the problem about the feminist movement, because in such a point of view, they say, okay, my feelings and what I want to do and my freedom, it's more important than everybody apart. So I don't care about children, I don't care about the family, I just care with myself, being happy with my life. And if I'm not happy with my relationship or with my family, etc., I just gave up and continue my life with all the freedom that I deserved. So this point of view, I don't agree with her.
right to speak your mind about it. What I don't understand,
I'd like to
what
say,
I don't
even before the
understand.
1920s, women could speak openly. This idea that like women couldn't talk the last 500 years, women throughout history, there have been women throughout history that have.
And she didn't leave people just talking. It's, oh my God, she's just talking things.
I don't understand is when it kind of seeps into the sort of, you call women fat, you say that they should have abortions, you say that women are STDs.
Yes, guys, I'm going to finish this video right now because she's going to talk about fat people and the rights that the fat people do have, for example, to, okay, respect the fact that I am fat. And this is another situation that I'm going to talk about in another video. But it's very complicated, and when we do talking about fat people, we are talking about health, okay? And this is a situation in the United States that most people, more than half, the 50% of the people is overweight, and it's not about respect them, it's about the health situation, and we do need to care about that, okay? Even in Brazil, it's the same. So we need to talk about that with more more respect, of course, but we need to change the situation because people are getting fat, and getting fat, it's not a good thing, it's a bad thing for health, okay? So yes, that's all, guys. It's my first time, of course. It was kind of difficult for me to talk about this video and stay with you on the same time, okay? And I really appreciate that you have been until here. And as I told you before, leave some comments. It's just started, of course, that I will take care about everything that you are talking about. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I wish you all the best. So see you around. Bye bye.